So, Jay, let's talk emoluments.
Let's talk emoluments.
Yeah. Tell us, what is it? What does it mean? Has it been used before? Can it be used now in this context?
Yeah, well, so let me read it just in case anybody hasn't memorized it yet. It says, this is Article 1, Section 9, it says, no person holding any office of profit or trust under them, meaning the United States, shall, without the consent of Congress, accept of any present emolument, office, or title. So that's what the clause says. It clearly was put in the Constitution as an anti-corruption tool to make sure that our officers in the United States are not being subtly influenced by foreign nationals, which was something that was very important to the framers of the Constitution. The Constitution is filled with these kinds of anti-corruption provisions, and it was clear that they wanted to make sure that this kind of corruption that they saw in England was not going to happen here in the United States. The clause has never been interpreted by the Supreme Court or any other court, as far at least this particular clause has never been interpreted by any court, as far as I know. Office of Legal Counsel has, this executive branch office has a series of opinions about what counts as an emolument, and maybe some things about like who does the clause cover and things like that. They don't really get us anywhere near figuring out whether President Trump has any emolument problems. So where am I?
Well, what does the word emolument even mean?
I don't know. We should go around and had you even thought of the word emolument before? So there's a difference of opinion. One opinion that's put forward by Larry Tribe and Eisen and Painter in their lawsuit, claiming that Trump's in violation of the Emoluments Clause, is that emolument means something like anything of value, anything of value, very, very broadly defined. There's a counter view which says that emolument is money that is tied to the performance of an office. So for example, if the French government were to give Donald Trump $50,000 per year for his service as U.S. president, that would be an emolument. But a fair market value transaction involving Trump hotels or Trump wine would not be an emolument. And I think there are a couple of things to say about that. One is other parts of the Constitution use the word emolument. It comes up two other times. And in those two other instances, it is fairly clear, I think, that the word emolument is tied to an office, the amount of money that somebody gets directly for serving in the office. On the other side is the language of the Foreign Emoluments Clause, which is so broad. There are three any's in it, and then a whatever. So if you haven't ever focused on it, it's it says no person holding any office under them shall, without the consent of Congress, accept of any present emolument, office, or title of any kind, whatever. It's pretty broad, and so there's an argument that even if emolument in the other two clauses is more narrow, this one might be read more broadly to encompass everything that we might have even considered to be an emolument back when the Constitution was framed. So my favorite way of thinking about the Emoluments Clause is with this example. I actually, by the way, think that we should be calling it the Presence Clause. I don't know why we started talking about emoluments instead of presents. Everyone knows what a present is, but imagine this scenario: the Chinese state government is having a big dinner, and they want to have some wine, some champagne or sparkling wine with the appetizer, which happens to be scallops. And so they try to figure out which wine to get, and there are all these great French wines out there. You might have heard of them. But instead, they decide they're going to curry favor with Trump, and they order 100 bottles of Trump's Blanc de Blanc because it has a pear on the nose. You can look this up. It goes for $38 a bottle and pairs well with mild cheeses. Anyways, the decision by the Chinese state government to buy 100 or 1,000 bottles of Trump wine instead of, say, Sancerre, right, by X company in France, I think that's a gift. right? Assuming that they could have chosen either, and assuming that the Trump wine may not be as good as a French, I guess since here's not a sparkling wine, so champagne, that seems like a present to me. Now, in that case, if you had the French wine company and they happened to know that they were like the last, on the list, it was down to Trump wine versus, what's a good champagne?
Moet.
Moet, yeah, Moet. And the Moet company knew that the Chinese government bought Trump instead of Moet, then I suppose Moet could bring us a case saying that they were personally injured by this emoluments violation. The remedy, though, I don't know what the remedy for that would be. I guess the remedy would be something about the wine. You pay back Moet for the money they lost. It wouldn't be Trump's not president anymore.